I would have loved to have heard the conversation that Black parents had with their children when they came home from enduring something like this. When you picked your little child up from school, you couldn't have possibly said, "How was your day, honey? Did you have a great time? Did you meet any new friends?" I'll be back. Hello, everyone. Let's get on with this. This is an impromptu video. Someone asked me a poignant question this morning. It made me think. It brought memories of horror to my mind, thinking about what our children are thinking about what Black American children went through when they just wanted a better education. You got to think about it. Who in their right mind would subject themselves or subject their children to that kind of abuse, if they felt it wasn't needed or that was the only option they had? I'm upset with the fact that, I want you to listen to what I said in a live that I did a week ago. Listen to what I said, and then I'm going to come back and add a little bit more to it. Check it out. They wanted us to be ready and available for them at the drop of a dime, but they don't realize that we've always been tenacious. We always going to find our own way. And if truth be told, we don't want to work with you. What do you not get? If you didn't lock up every sector in this country and made it where we had to work under you so you could keep your eyes on us, we would not work with you. And the only reason Black people wanted to move into your communities is because they got tired of the crime that was funneled into the city. They didn't want to move into your community because they wanted to live under you. They moved there because they wanted to get away. They wanted to get away from the degradation, the disparity, the poverty, and the lack in the communities they came from, because it was engineered that way. Then integration came.
I think the system should not enter the school with the whites, and if the niggers just keep on going, I think the whites should keep their children out of the school.
So many people said that it was better when they were segregated, but then you guys started crying about the schools, and I don't understand why y'all didn't come together and use your own money, Black folks. If the freed men and women after slavery had millions of dollars, they put millions of dollars in the freedmen bank and it was stolen from them. Why you think you couldn't have financed your own schools?
Many of my friends have been for the Negro, but ever since this violence started, they have turned against him. How would you go about not alienating the white man who has been for you through violence?
We don't care. He for 400 years, he have murdered, burned, raped, castrated, and tortured. I give less than a hootenanny what any white person thinks about this Black man is.
Well, but don't you want us to be with
I don't want you to do anything but leave us alone. We don't need you.
But I mean moral support. I don't mean to do anything for you, but
We're in your own neighborhood with the white people. They need the morality. We don't.
Stood up for the Negro, and now they say, well, now when they resort to violence, we are not.
Resort to violence.
Well, I mean in some of these riot areas.
Well, riot areas. You're talking about we resort to violence I talked to a reporter from Newsweek who told of National Guardsmen shooting down people in the back. Understand? As they're walking down the street minding their business, shooting caliber machine guns. Now, wait a minute, listen. You said about violence. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get sick in my stomach when I hear a white person talk about violence. You're the most violent people in the world. You're born on it. You live on it. You're sick with it. You're saturated with it. We have been the most peaceable, law-abiding fools the world has ever seen.
But you notice what they did. Instead of them saying, "Hey, you know what? Let's evenly distribute the resources. Let the black communities have their resources to build up their schools and communities. And then we're going to continue to give the white communities their resources because, they wouldn't know what the F to do without them, without the handouts. So we're going to continue to do that. And then that way, the black folks don't have to come to our white schools. They can stay in their schools because they'll have the resources to maintain their schools and have the money to hire the good, gifted black teachers. They didn't come with that option. Instead, they came with a effing option to bust you to these white schools around these hateful people. And I don't understand, black people, why you allow that. Why did you traumatize your children like that? Why did you send your black children have you looked at those clips from the 60s and the 50s when these black kids was getting busted to these white schools, and every day they had to deal with being called nigresses and monkeys and spitted on and beat and attacked? Why did you subject your children to that? Did it benefit them? Did they really learn? They had to wake up every morning and wait and get their mind prepared to go and be attacked just because they wanted to learn. Why did you subject your children to that, black people? Why did you subject your children to that hatred? And then you have the parents sitting there looking stupid as hell, letting your white child act like a effing fool, like a hoodlum, terrorizing them black children because they wanted to go to school. The more and more I think about it, my mind can't process why you would allow your children to go around that viciousness. It was in their soul. When it comes to you, when it comes to us, they can't hide it. They can't hide it. So why would you subject your children to that viciousness, to that fear? And when people fear, they evil do. Why did you subject yourself? Why did you have your children? I'm going to keep asking the question until somebody give me an answer. Why did you subject your children? If you love them, why did you make them go around such hatred? Hatred that was allowed. You saw the police sitting there and even the National Guards. They didn't stop these people. They did it right in their faces. What kind of conversations did you have with your children when they came back home? Don't worry about it, baby. I just want the best for you. It's only going to be for a little while. Just keep your head down. Do what you're told to do and don't worry about it. Is that what you said to them? What did that come from slavery? Accepting that? Why didn't you go and demand that your local leaders do right by you and give back the tax dollars that you paid? Give them back to you and your community so you could build better schools for you and your children. That's all you had to do instead of sending your children to this that world of hostility. All you had to do is take that effort and that strength and energy and demand that they give the money that is supposed to go to your community, give it back so that you can build better schools for your children. We're the only group that had to go to everybody else's school. Do you think those white folks would have let their children stay 1 minute in a school filled around with all that hostility? They would have tried to impeach the president for even suggesting such a thing. If black parents and black children stood out and did the same thing these vicious people did. Listen to what this black woman said. That's why they hate black women so much. Because we can say, well, listen, we're not going to hold back what we say or how we feel because of your feelings. We grown folks. Ain't no children here. But that's what they've tried to do. They tried to silence people. But the more they try to silence you, the more you need to speak up. But listen to what this woman said to this group, this panel forum they had. Listen to what she said.
Each other. And as we become true Americans, this is true America. We will all be one.
The problem here is we're all off on a tangent. The problem here is not who loves who and who hates who. That is irrelevant. Lady, with all due respect to you, if your daughter wanted to marry a gorilla, that's her business. That's not the problem.
Marry a white man in the next few months.
No, I've been integrated. I've been integrated all I need to be integrated. I've got these freckles and these red hair as a result of the that took place on my great grandmother in Mississippi. I don't want any more inbreaks. I don't need it. I don't need it. The next man I marry will be black, so I can bring some little black babies in the world.
And they will bring not black
I
children
don't want a white man to rape me.
He's not going to rape you. He's going to marry you. You are going to be his honored wife. This is America.
That's a problem with white America today. Sex is on your mind.
We are.
Sex is what is destroying white America, lady.
Did y'all hear what that black woman said to that white woman? Those of you who conveniently didn't hear, she told that white woman right in her face that sex is destroying white America and all they think about is sex. And before y'all start running your mouth, who does the programming, television programming? Who publish or produce movies? Who is running the music industry? Who do you think has the say so when it comes to what they want us to see? I was just watching a series on Netflix, and what was it called? I cannot remember the name of the show. I was just finished watching the series. The series had a great plot, but it was off the damn chain. You had all these women hanging around each other. 3 of them were screwing each other. One woman was married to a sheriff, and she was screwing him with a dildo. And I'm sitting there looking at this show like, wow, but they always talking about black people. So anyway, as I said, somebody asked me a question and just brought to mind when I did that live. And I was talking about alligator Alcatraz, MAGA, white farmers. And I was talking about integration and how our people fought for fairness. And instead of them giving black folks, not giving like a handout, but like I said, when you pay your taxes, those taxes are supposed to come back in a form of resources for your community.
School with white children. The Leland High graduating class of 1969 had only 3 African Americans out of a class of 70. White Southerners always insisted that if segregation truly had to be abandoned, it should happen as slowly as possible. But the time for that kind of gradual change was running out. In 1969, tensions in Leland boiled over. African Americans launched a boycott of white-owned stores. Students at the black high school organized a walkout and tried to march across town to the white high school, but they were tear gassed by the town police chief. A melee began. Windows were broken. A white man confronted 2 black teenagers outside a store near the edge of town, pulled out a pistol, and shot a 16-year-old African American.
So instead of integrating black children into your hostile white schools, all you had to do was bring those resources back to the community. But that was another way they decided to keep the money instead of giving the money back to the community that it should have gone to. They kept the money to keep their white schools pristine and then have these black kids going to these schools, and that would have gave them more money because the state gives the schools money. So it just took more money. Integrating and busing your children to white schools just took more money out of your community. So you had your kids going to these white schools and you were able to tell your friends and your family, well, yeah, my child is going to these white schools on the greener side of town. But at the end of the day, what did you gain from it? What did you gain from it? You at this point, at that point, you could have y'all could have came together as a group and taught your children at home. It's so many things you guys could have done. I know they didn't have that many things available like they do now, but you could have fought for it like we fight for everything else. Yeah, I'm bothered about it. And anybody who say, oh, well, that happened long ago. No, ask teachers today who teach at city schools Are they still having the same problem when it comes to resources, when it comes to supplies? It's to the point where parents got to send their kids to school with supplies that the school used to have available for the students. Do they do that in predominantly white schools? Do you have to send your kids with a lot of supplies? They probably do, because nowadays they so damn greedy. But damn, it's like what when I was going to school, that those things used to be available to us. The school provided you with pencils and school, even if you didn't have. Some people didn't bring pencils and things to school, but the schools provided that stuff for us, basic supplies and essentials. Now they give you a whole list of things that you have to buy for your kids when school start. And then I know my cousin was telling me that they even had to pay. It was some kind of fee they had to pay at the beginning of the year. And I think it was over $200 something for each child. I was like, you out your effing mind. What are you guys doing with the school, the money that the state give you? What are these public schools doing with the money that the state okay. All right, folks. And then I saw a video of Boston. What happened in Boston in the 60s or 70s? Those people were those Irish people. They were worse than white racists, than American white racists. And that's another thing that caused me to do this video, because I was just thinking about the videos I saw, how violent these people have been towards Black Americans, and they turn around and flip and say we're violent. Just like that black man said, he gets sick every time he hear a white person talk about how violent Black Americans is. It's almost like what? Do you see your history? Is that why you guys are trying to erase history? Because you don't want the world to continue to see how violent you actually were and still are? And then got the nerve to talk about everybody else violent. What the F is that all about? That's just like somebody literally stealing something right in your face. And then you go get a piece of paper towel or something, and they call you a thief. Like, wow, the box is right here. I could just take one, but you didn't just went through somebody's pocketbook, handbag, and just took their whole wallet. All right, folks, I'm out. That's all I have to say. I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.